Fundação Logosófica, em prol da superação humana.
Welcome to Logosofia TV, and welcome once again to our Logosofia in 10 Minutes program, English edition. Today you have the pleasure of receiving here in our studios the Logosofia student from New York, Mr. Nelson Belen. He's going to share with us his latest discoveries and comprehensions about a very intriguing theme, time. Shall we get started?
Sure. Thank you for having me, Vera.
Okay. Recently you have delivered a lecture about this very theme, which is available on our channel as well. And so I'd like to ask you a few questions about that, because to me, time is a very mysterious subject. Sometimes I have this feeling that it flies away, and other moments I feel as if it stood still. So let's begin with the concept. What is the logosophical conception of time, in your comprehension, of course?
Well, that's a great place to start, Vera, because it all starts with what is our concept of time. And many of the problems or issues that people have today with time is all related to this. If I was to ask most people out there, there's two problems. First of all, I guarantee you 90% of people probably don't have a concept of time. And of course, if you don't have any concept of time, how can you possibly appreciate it? Second, if people do have a concept of time, it's probably a very limited concept. Something I spoke about in the video that you mentioned. We have more technology today that can do things faster than ever before, right? We can talk to someone at any moment. I can find out anything, any information I want from my cell phone. And all these things are supposed to save us time. But I was just looking at a study the other day. There is study after study after study shows that people today are more depressed, more anxious, more nervous, more stressed out, more disorganized about their time than at any moment in history. So obviously, Vera, something is wrong. Now let's go back to your question about the concept of time. Most people don't have a concept. This is the first problem. The second problem is, for most people, time is, and if you look in the dictionary, this is what you're going to find, is a unit of measurement. So, time is a strict measurement, just like I could measure this chair or this table. But we know that time is not just a measurement, because if that was the case, why is it that if I spend 1 hour doing something I love with people I love, it feels like 5 minutes, but if I'm sitting in a dentist chair for 5 minutes, it feels like 5 hours, right? So we know that there's another element of time. In Logosophy, very simple, but very profound also. Time is life. Time is life itself, is the essence of life. And many times I've actually had the opportunity to tell that to people, to tell that logosophical concept, that time is life. And usually the reaction that I get is, okay.
No
yes,
surprise.
Right.
No surprises about that.
I get that. Time is life. But something I think that would be interesting for people to try is take some of the common expressions that we have about time. People always say, oh, I'm running out of time, or oh, I never have enough time. Substitute the word life instead of time and see how you feel. See how you feel when you say, oh, I don't have enough life. See how you feel when you say, oh, I'm running out of life. Because really, for Logosophy, time and life run together. They are not separate concepts.
So this logosophical conception of time is very, very huge, because it's life, and life is another great conception. What is the relation, if there's any, between time and evolution with life? Because I think all these themes are together.
Exactly. They're fundamental. They're completely connected. In Logosophy, we talk about very much our outer world, which would basically be our physical world, and our inner world. And every situation that we have in our outer world is a consequence of something happening in our inner world, including, obviously, how we deal with our time. So the idea of evolving, of becoming a better person. It's all directly related to our time and how we deal with our inner world. In Logosophy, we call this the process of conscious evolution. That is the journey that we undertake to try to figure out what's happening and discover the mechanism of our internal world.
I'm talking about dealing with your inner world and directly with time. How do you use your inner world to conquer time? I mean, is time a key to evolution, a hidden key to evolution, to evolve? I mean, is it important to know time or to have knowledge of how to manage time to evolve?
Well, just to give you an example, something that one of the main fundamental aspects that we study in Logosophy is thoughts. Thoughts is the crucial aspect to understanding our inner world. Now, when I say thoughts, many people understand that they have thoughts. They think things all the time. But in Logosophy, we have a very different concept. We have autonomous thoughts. Thoughts are autonomous entities. Now, what does that mean? That's huge. That means that basically the thoughts in our minds have a will of their own. They act independently of many times what we want.
I mean, they're beings.
Well, exactly.
Entities.
Think of it that way. And there's many times that I'm sure you've done something or said something and you thought later on, why did I do that? Or why did I say that, right?
Definitely.
What happened there? So there's an example. There are thoughts that are acting independently. Now, how is that related to time? Well, I could give you, there's millions of examples. What about just the other day? I'm online at the supermarket, waiting and waiting and waiting, and the cashier, the line's not moving as fast as I would like it to. So what are some of the, what's happening in my inner world? What are some of the thoughts that I'm having? Well, I'm thinking, why is there only one cashier? Why does this person have to pay with a check? Why is this person moving so fast? Why is this person on their cell phone? All these things are happening in my mind. Now, what's happening during that time? That's 5 minutes, that's 10 minutes, whatever it was, that I have lost. Gone, done, it's over. And that's one of the other aspects of time. Once it's gone, it's gone. Time is life, you have to use it or you lose it. So, that time that I was on that line, possessed by those beings, those thoughts, that's time that I lost.
Let's get this example. For instance, you're in a line waiting and wasting your time, complaining internally of everything. How could you make a better use of this time being on the line?
It's a big question, isn't it? What we study in Logosophy is first we have to learn how to think. Many people think they think, but they don't know how to think. Thinking for many people, 99% of the people out there, thinking is as automatic as breathing. No one is conscious of it. It's a conscious act. In Logosophy, we have an intelligence. Our intelligence is composed of mental faculties. These faculties all allow us to learn how to properly think. When we can think, we can learn exactly what you said, how we can use our time better. Well, I'm waiting on this line. Maybe I can, read a book, check some emails, talk to the person next to me. Maybe I'll learn something. Maybe I'll make a friend. There's a ton of different things that I could have done in that moment rather than complain.
So interesting. So if you saying that we think everything, but don't think. So when we learn how to think properly, we will be able to do things faster, quicker, and better. So we'll gain time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Won't fly away.
Not only that, think about how many things do people not do because they have thoughts of fear, procrastination.
Yes.
So not only does it make you, does it take you longer to get things done, there's many things in our lives that we end up not doing. And what are the thoughts that come into our mind, which are basically because we're scared? I'm running out of time. I don't think I'll be able to do this today. I don't think I'll be able to do this interview with Vera today because I didn't have a chance to study so much and I'm not completely ready, and all those thoughts are going to come and I'll just push it off to another day, and that other day is never going to come.
So to be friends of time, we must select the thoughts we have on our mind.
Exactly. Easier said than done. Easier said than done.
Okay. Okay, Nelson, thank you for talking about time. Thank you for your time, and thank you for sharing.
Thank you for having me, Vera.
Your comprehensions and these interesting aspects. Today I've talked to Nelson about time. And if you're interested in other themes, feel free to access our channel, and see you next time.